already. I'm upgrading a very nice luxury apartment for a very good landlord who has a very good reputation around town. Here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare and the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So I'll show you how to install this light and I'll show you the instructions at the end. Okay, well first we'll turn off the light we're taking down. We'll save it because it is a decent light. We'll just save it for like a cheap budget type of an apartment. Instead of calling so dump it out, then you can see everything you need. And unscrew our fixture from our ceiling. Take our fixture down. As you can see, they didn't hook the ground wire up. And let's see what kind of work they did hooking up in the box. So here's our white wire, which is the neutral. So let's see what kind of a job they did hooking our whites together. So we'll take our wire nut off. See how uneven that was? And we'll take our black wire down and we'll see how they hooked that one up. It was okay. Okay, there is a ground wire up here, but it is just grounded to the side of this metal box, so it's okay. So now we can put our bracket up here for our new light. So this is the bracket for the light, and it has a green screw, but the ground wire is clipped to the box and it's very short. So we'll screw this up here, and this will carry our ground down to our So we'll screw our bracket up here for the our fixture. So the ground wire clipped to the side of the box is going to bond through this bracket here, so we can put our ground wire from our light fixture on here. Okay, so I like to strip my wires longer so I get a nice wrap around our solid wire with our stranded wires. Okay, so we'll get our stranded wire hooked up to our solid wire here. Okay, our wires are a little long, so I'll clip them a little bit. So we'll put our black wire on the black, we'll get our insulation even at the bottom here. Bring our strands down, we'll wrap our strands around our solid wire like this. Make sure our copper is even at the end and our insulation is even at the top. Take our wire nut and we'll make sure insulation goes up into that wire nut. And we'll just make sure we're going nice and tight. And we'll do the same with our white wire, get our insulation even at the top. Bring our strands down, we'll wrap our strands around our solid wires here like that. Insulation's even here and our copper's even up here. Get our wire nut, we'll just put it on here. Okay, we gotta take our little nubs off here that will hold our fixture onto our bracket. And now we'll take our ground wire and we'll put it up here on around our ground screw here. Put it around the screw the direction the screw turns. Make this nice and tight. I don't like how it all frayed out, so I'll just loosen it up again here. And I'll twist my strands back together again here. And I'll come back further like this. Okay, now I'll leave this tail here, but I'll fold it up in case they rewire it and make the, I'll leave the strands down here on the side of the plate so it doesn't touch anything we don't want to touch. Now we'll put our wires up into our box here the way they belong. And we'll stick our wires up in here like this. And there's 2 holes in the insulation to let you know where the screws come down through. So I'll just stick our wires up into our box here like that. Okay, we got our little nub sticking up here. So we screw our little nubs on here. I'll show you the instructions at the end. I'll make sure this is all nice and tight. Inside here, there's a little thumb screw. Just take that off. And see this hole here and this screw here, you just put it in with this slot coming through. Where's that hole again? There it is. Put it up over like this. Bring it down, and you see that now that little thread screw comes down through that hole there. We'll put our little knob on here, or nut on here. And we'll put our 3 light bulbs in here. These are LED, so they don't get as hot as your incandescent bulbs. The wire that's up there is probably maybe 20 years old. It has cloth around the outside and vinyl on the inside. And the ground wire is 1 gauge lighter than the black and white. Now we can put our glass globe on here. Okay, so this is tempered glass. So this will just go up through our hole here and screw into the little rod up in here. So I have to just get it lined up here. Okay, so it's all up here nice and tight. And now we'll turn it on, then I'll show you the instructions. You can just pause the video to read the instructions.